Hi guys, how's it going? It's Julian and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna make another lesson related with the IELTS preparation. In this case, it's related with the speaking part of the exam. As always, I'm using like a particular website which it is specifically to practice different topics related with the IELTS exam. And as always, I'm gonna put the source here in the description below. And today's topic is related with the IELTS speaking part 3, and the topic for this section is city and countryside. So as always, remember that this kind of uh, questions that the interviewers ask you to to resolve and to make are related with a pretty random question that the interviewer can just choose randomly, and you must express in that topic as natural possible. So you must take care of your body language and in your intonation as well, and take care with the pauses. And if you make pauses, don't make these little sounds that you make when we are thinking about the word that you want to say. So with that said, let's go ahead with this. As I said, city and countryside. This is an article, so let's go for it. In this post, we would like to put an emphasis on IELTS speaking part 3, and the topic is city and countryside. And well, this article, as other ones that I've been reading, um, has like a particular structure that you must know, and the interviewer will ask you different kind of questions, so you must to explain over them. So, one, what are the advantages of living in the countryside? Living in the countryside can be Living in the countryside can benefit people in a wide range of ways. Living in the countryside is better for one's health condition, thanks so thanks to significantly lower levels of air pollution. It is undeniable that air quality in big cities is so bad that long-term exposure to it may cause respiratory diseases and other health problems. Besides, the cost of living in rural areas is likely to be lower than that in cities. Although people in the city tend to make more money than people in the countryside do, they have to spend more on food, accommodation, and transportation. Therefore, one can save more money by living in the countryside without working as hard. As you notice, this is a pretty structured way to answer this question. And besides the vocabulary, usually it's more structured and complex, because for sure they will expect from you some level like close to C1 or C2. So you must get used to this kind of words. For example, a couple of ones that we can get from here, that this paragraph, it's long-term exposure to and respiratory diseases. Long-term exposure to is like a two-wording one. Like long-term is like a two-wording one. So, two, what are the disadvantages of living in the countryside? Although living in the countryside can do wonders for your well-being, although living in the countryside can do wonders for your well-being, it is undeniable that there are still some drawbacks of living in the countryside. To be more specific, not having good transport on your doorstep will make it inconvenient to travel to a faraway place, which also means you will squander more time on commuting. Another disadvantage is that country dwellers also have fewer job opportunities compared to those in the cities, thereby resulting in a lower standard of living. Okay, and a couple of words that we can or phrases that we can get from this paragraph is squander more time on, squander more time on, and country dwellers. 3. What kinds of people live in the countryside? To the best of my knowledge, many people decide to live in the countryside because they want to downshift to a less stressful life. Although people who live in the countryside can still lead hectic lives, the peace of their surroundings helps to bring them to a gentle halt and remind them not to rush life away. What do people living in the countryside like to do? I reckon I reckon that when living in the countryside, people can enjoy um, a myriad of activities that they hardly have in cities, such as going out at night without fear of street criminals, doing exercise in the early morning to enjoy the fresh air, and another ones. How has life changed over time in the countryside? The countryside has experienced specific changes for the last few decades. Firstly, people, especially farmers, have applied modern technologies in their work. Therefore, productivity has significantly improved while people don't have to sweat as much as they used to. Moreover, young people in the countryside tend to move to, to town to seek job opportunities. As a result, the population in the countryside is reducing and again. Um, do you think it is better to live in the countryside or in the city? Do you think it is better to live in the countryside or in the city? As often as this question is raised, I believe it remains a tough decision to make when it comes to choosing between living in the countryside and living in the city. Many people have been attracted to living and work in big cities because of better employment opportunities and higher living standards. This massive rural to urban migration has, however, led to an increase in environmental pollution, traffic, and social issues in urban areas. It could be a better idea for people to live in the suburb and travel into the city to work every day so that they can enjoy the best of both worlds. How is the countryside different from town? There are many things which differ in the countryside from town. It is much less crowded in the country than in cities. Besides, the pace of life in the countryside is slow, while people living in big cities always seem to be in a hurry. Also, it is much more healthy to live out of big cities because the air in the country is fresher and there is no as much noise. Do youngsters prefer living in rural areas? Why or why not? Youngsters prefer to live in the cities. It is mainly because of the numerous job opportunities that a city offers. Apart from this, a city offers good healthcare and educational facilities. Okay, and that was the article basically, and now we are gonna make a review about the speaking part three. And okay, vocabulary for speaking part 3. Exposure, the state of having no protection from something harmful. Prolonged exposure to heat can be harmful. Respiratory diseases. Respiratory diseases or lung diseases are pathological conditions affecting the organs and tissues that make gas exchange difficult in air-breathing animals. Chain smokers are often Ex-chain smokers are often detected with respiratory diseases, do wonders to cause improvements or have a very good effect. Example, aloe vera get wonders to my skin. Okay, that's good because you can get some vocabulary from here. Uh, Squander, to spend extravagantly or to waste money. Example, get rich but squanders his father's money on his friends. Country dwellers, a person who lives in the country. Country dwellers spend their money wisely. To the best of my knowledge, used to say that a person thinks something is true. Example, the thesis submitted by me is to the best of my knowledge, a myriad of, a very large number. Example, there are myriad of spiders in the old house. Living standards, the quality of housing, material comfort, and wealth experienced by an individual or group. Example, over the decades, living standards among the people have been improved. And that's the vocabulary for all this that we learn in this article. And we can, because I know there are another one which it is a short one. We can make that one as well. So let me see. And besides, this is one related with shadowing. So in this case, I have the audio to listen at the same time, so I can read and listen at the same time, and I can make shadowing with that to be like to in parallel try to speak as the native speaker does. So let's go for it. And in this case, it's a short one. The audio it's just 3 minutes, and the topic is using a map. Question Questions. What do people usually do when they get lost? What are the differences between paper and digital maps? What do you think of in car GPS navigation systems? What do people often do with a map? How does learning to read a map help you learn more about your country? And answers. Those are the questions. Let's go for it, and let's make some shadowing now. Let me see if this works, because I think it doesn't work. What do people usually do when they get lost? When people find themselves lost, they typically resort to a few common strategies. Firstly, many will use their smartphones for GPS navigation to reorient themselves. Others might seek assistance from locals, asking for directions to their intended destination. In situations where technology is unavailable or unreliable, some people revert to traditional methods, such as using a physical map or following a landmark use. What are the differences between paper and digital maps? Well, the key differences between papers and digital maps primarily revolve around their format and functionality. Firstly, paper maps are tangible and easily used without the need for power or an internet connection. However, they have limitations in terms of the amount of the information they can display. On the other hand, digital maps offer a wealth of interactive features such as zooming and real-time updates. They provide a detailed information about specific locations and suggest routes with traffic updates, which paper maps simply cannot. What do you think of in-car GPS navigation systems? Honestly, in-car GPS navigation systems have transformed the way we travel. They bring a significant level of convenience by providing step-by-step directions, which drastically reduces the chances of getting lost. Additionally, these systems are adaptable to real-time traffic conditions, suggesting alternative routes to avoid delays. However, it's worth noting that there can be an over-reliance on these systems. This dependency might diminish our natural ability to navigate as we become more accustomed to following digital prompts rather than understanding the geography of a place. What do people often do with a map? Actually, people use maps for a variety of purposes. Primarily, maps are used for navigation, helping individuals find their way in unfamiliar areas. They are also used for planning trips, where users can plot routes and identify points of interest. Interestingly, maps can also serve educational purposes, helping people learn about different geographical regions and cultural landmarks. 5. How does learning to read a map help you learn more about your country? Well, learning to read a map can be incredibly insightful for understanding one's country better. By reading maps, individuals gain a deeper appreciation of the geographical layout, including the locations of major cities, rivers, and mountain ranges. It also helps in understanding the regional differences and cultural diversity within the country, thereby fostering a sense of national identity and pride. Okay, that was the article. As I said, it was a short one, so I hope you guys have learned something. Besides, this is, as always mentioned, this is a way in which your answers should be structured. For example, you must to make some explanation and try to go deeper, but not so much about the topic. And so, in the introduction of your answer, you must to open the different topics that you can talk about in the same answer, so you can have more different ways to answer the question properly and without get stuck on that. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a good one. uh, Give me a like and subscribe, and turn on the notifications to realize when I update a new video. And see you in the next one. Bye bye.